What do you say when you do something that, let's say, was just not too smart? I'll never do that again. We learn from our mistakes, or at least we should. Throughout Scripture, we find many faithful hearts who made mistakes. I'm so grateful for those examples because they reveal so much about me as well as so much about God and His vast love and grace. This month, we're looking at women we can look to and learn from in Scripture. So far, we've looked at Eve, the woman caught in adultery, the widow of Nain, and a group of ladies who followed and served Jesus faithfully. We get a glimpse of their stories for the purpose of revealing more of the greater redemption story, and we see we have a part to play as well. Out of all the women in the Bible, I couldn't not look at Sarah, the wife of Abraham. This woman of ancient days had quite the faith-filled as well as failure-filled story. To start off, she was barren. While I can relate to infertility, Sarah was barren until the age of 90. During those barren years, she took things into her own hands by giving her handmaid, Hagar, over to her husband. That did not turn out well. Not God's plan. Let's not do that again. She also laughed at God's plan of her having a baby in her old age and then lied about it. Now, I can tend to laugh at times when I probably shouldn't. Sarah did it and then denied it to the Lord. She's all like, no, I didn't laugh. And the Lord comes back with, oh, yes, you did. Let's not do that again. Go read Genesis 18, 10 through 15 for all the details. Bottom line, God made her a promise, and He proved nothing is impossible for the Lord. What we see with Sarah ultimately is that through it all, she did believe God was faithful, and she trusted Him. Hebrews 11:11. And by faith, even Sarah, who was past childbearing age, was enabled to bear children because she considered him faithful who had made the promise. And so from this one man, and he as good as dead, came descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as countless as the sand on the seashore. By faith, even Sarah walked out her part of the story and had a son at the age of 90. And this one man, and he as good as dead. Did you catch that part? Through this unlikely couple came descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as countless as the sand on the seashore. Sarah wasn't perfect, but she was loved by God, and she was found faithful. God used her even when she laughed and lied. I don't know about you, but that gives me hope in my moments of weakness and in my moments of trying to make God's way align with my way. I can look to Sarah and see her honest pain and struggle in the waiting. I can understand her desire to take things into her own hands. I get why she laughed. A baby at 90? That's hilarious. But thank God He saw beyond the laughter, which ultimately was hiding her fear. He saw her heart. She committed herself to being a much older mom. She stood faithfully by her husband, and as a result, even though she laughed and lied, God poured His grace on her and fulfilled His promise to her and through her in that their family tree delivered to us the Messiah. Sarah can remind us that God is faithful, even when I am not. He gives second chances and allows us into His story, which will always be for our good and His glory. That's the truth. God sees you. He has a plan for you. Look to Him and trust your story as a part of the greater story He is writing, even if some of the chapters are so crazy they make you laugh. I'm Lori Klein.